Bionic Gloves presents the Hands-On Golf Podcast, bringing anatomy and hand function to the forefront of glove design to improve comfort, fit, and performance. Bionic is a division of Hilrich & Bradsby Company, makers of Louisville Slugger bats and ball gloves. Bionic gloves are the only gloves designed by a leading orthopedic hand surgeon, Dr. Jim Kleinert.
Welcome everyone to this edition of the Bionic Gloves Hands-On Golf Podcast. My name is Chaz Rao. I am your host, and it is a beautiful, glorious day here at the Crescent Hill Golf Course in Louisville, Kentucky. It's springtime, you know, we're all feeling good. We're ready to go out and swing some clubs. So I'm going to fire off and get right into the emails so we can get into this week's podcast. This one comes in from September, and she says, Chaz, I want to talk about buying clubs. Now, when I go out and talk to pros or golf shops, they say you need to buy women's clubs, but I like the feel of the men's clubs. So, you know, and she says she swings the club, you know, it's around 68 miles per hour, and she wants to know, what should I buy? Should I buy women's clubs? I like the men's clubs. I like the graphite. I can swing it pretty good. What do I do? Well, we're going to speak with PGA Pro Barry Bonifield on how to answer this question. Should she buy the women? Should she buy the men? Does it really matter? Should you buy what you like? That's what we're going to find out in this edition of the Bionic Gloves Hands-On Golf Podcast. So, September, thank you very much for submitting your question. And remember, just for you participating in this podcast with this excellent question, you're going to get the Bionic Glove. Now, if you would like to participate in this podcast, please send emails to podcast@bionicgloves.com. If we use it, you get one of these as well. Now, when you submit your question, please include your full name, full mailing address, what size glove you wear, and whether you are right or left-handed. Okay, got that? Write it down. Don't forget. And also, tell all your golf buddies to check out the podcast as well. If they don't know what podcasting is, have them view it on the website at bionicgloves.com/podcast, or they can take it with them on their iPod or devices, laptops, whatever they got. So thank you very much, everyone, for being supportive of this podcast. Please take the survey at the bionicgloves.com/podcast site. And let's go join Barry and talk about this question about September, about which golf clubs to buy in this edition of the Bionic Gloves Hands-On Golf Podcast. Hey, Barry.
Chaz, how are you?
What are you doing?
Just finished up a club fitting with one of my golfers here at Crescent Hill Golf Course, and we were trying to decide which set of clubs fit this person best based on how accurate and how long they're hitting each one of them.
Well, that's perfect, because I have a question that deals with that subject. You've got a minute?
Sure.
This one comes in from September, and she likes the feel of men's clubs, but people are recommending that she buy women's clubs. Could you give us the reason why she should buy either or?
Absolutely. First of all, you don't always recommend women's clubs because the person is a woman, and there are so many variables in club fitting these days. There is the length of the club, the overall weight of the club, the swing speed at which the person is swinging, and you said that your swing speed is 68 miles an hour. You've been playing about a year, so that's quite good. I tend to ask these questions when I'm fitting someone. However, typically I will reduce club fitting down to one far overreaching variable, and that is what works best. Because when we get out there on that golf course, the only thing we're concerned about is what will help September have a better opportunity to hit the golf ball further and straighter, and to hit the golf ball closer to the target, and to get it in the hole in fewer strokes. That's the only thing that matters. So, can women's clubs help? They might if they're the right set. Could men's clubs help because you feel better about them? It could help. So there is a psychological dimension to golf. I like the way my clubs look. That's very important, because as a longtime golfer, I can tell you, I don't typically hit a club well when I don't like the way it looks. So the difference in men's and women's clubs typically is the weight of the club and the length of the club, as well as the shaft flex of the club. So I would be most interested in you doing a side-by-side comparison, just as one of my golfers has just done, and hit 10 drivers after you get warmed up with a women's club, hit 10 drivers with a men's club. Whichever one goes further and straighter that's your best bet. And then hit 10 shots, all of this after a satisfactory warm-up. Hit 10 iron shots into a green with a woman's club, 10 iron shots into the green with a men's club. Which one? Designate the golf balls with a red dot and a blue dot. Red women's, blue men's. And then where are those golf balls? You see what I'm saying? If you can quantify your results, that's all we're trying to do, is come up with some empirical data that says this set of golf clubs works better for me than this set. You don't want to go by someone's recommendation just because. And what I might say in conclusion, go see your PGA golf professional at a local golf course, for example, and have that PGA golf professional do a club fitting for you. Typically, PGA pros will have a variety of clubs in their possession, men's and women's, different lengths, different shafts, different weights, and try them and let that be your first step. And it sounds like by what you're asking, you're already on the right track. Wish you the very best with your search. Thanks.